There was a time when Barack Obama would speak of the ocean's healing. Do you remember that speech? Should have pulled that speech. Today is a day when the ocean tides will begin to recede. A nation will begin to heal. And he spoke this at what was called the Barackopolis. If you never saw the Barackopolis, it was a stage. I believe it was set up near Denver. I believe it was in Colorado. And it was a stage that was set up to look like a Roman Colosseum. And Caesar was addressing his people. We are the people we've been waiting for, said a guy who they did everything they could to put into messianic images. If you're too young to remember this, he had his own photography team. They made this attempt, his people, Axelrod and others, to have the Associated Press photography team removed from the White House, to have them pushed out in favor of Barack Obama's team taking all his pictures. And I think they got that done for a while. And there was a while where even leftist journalists pushed back on this. I think Ron Fournier, in fact, pushed against that. But they'd have these images of Barack Obama with a halo behind him. Clearly messianic. Clearly knew what they were doing. Praise God, that appears to be gone. It appears that has left Barack Hussein Obama. And there are many, many signs of this. I'll show you one of them today. It's natural for things to leave us over time, right? It is natural for us to see a decrease in muscle mass as we age. I'm not wild about that because I love CrossFit. I love working out. I like to be able to do things that are physically hard. You might be the same way. You might not care. But I'll tell you, loss of muscle mass can also equal loss of digestive power. It can really make you vulnerable to injuries, skeletal injuries, falling, etc. So it's not great either way. You like to pursue athletic activities or you don't. You want to be able to maintain muscle mass, particularly if you're doing any form of restrictive eating. That is just eating below the amount of the amount of energy you burn so that you stay at a reasonable body weight. Here's a hack. There's a product called Masszymes. It is a super powerful set of digestive enzymes. And it took 243 experiments before bioptimizers would put their name on this. They did a test at Berkshire International University, side-by-side analysis. People who ate food and did not take Masszymes and people who ate food and took Masszymes. The group, people like me, who took Masszymes saw a 1,200% increase in the presence of amino acids in our bodies. Amino acids are the building block of proteins. Proteins are the building block of muscle. There you go. You can get started on this now. You don't need to wait. Just go to bioptimizers.com/Todd. You get 10% off all their products there, including Masszymes. It's bioptimizers.com/Todd. So Barack Obama took that old charm out on the road. It was like last week, and he lectured young black men on how to vote. So MSNBC decided to go out and talk to some people on the streets. The guys go talk to the BIPOCs. That's what they call people. And they ran into a guy who had this to say about Barack Hussein Obama lecturing black men.
And I just wonder for anybody who heard that, like what they thought of that.
I was deeply offended. And it felt like a moment where it's like, you N-words better get in line and do what we say. And it felt like him as the czar of the Democratic Party coming down to say, go get these N-words in line. And the general tone of it was disgusting. It was abhorrent. I don't respect it. I didn't like nothing about it. And Kamala, 2 days after that, is like, we love our black men. We have programs and things that we're rolling out for them, and she rolled out policy.
Good cop, bad cop. You know, because
I'm tired of the good cop, bad cop. I'm tired of it.
It's so refreshing to see this, and it is interesting that it made it on the MSNBC. And I think there's a reason for this. MSNBC knows they can't stop social media and they can't stop black people on social media from speaking out in favor of President Trump. And so MSNBC has to be able to put their spin on this now. It exists in society. It is promoted in society that Republicans and conservatives love when black Americans speak out on behalf of our ideals, because for so long, the Mockingbird media has made us the party of racism, which is insane and ridiculous. So Republicans are excited to promote that. So they want to promote black conservative voices. So MSNBC has to bring some in. Otherwise, they can't provide the spin. Things like, well, there are some white adjacent blacks who, no, they don't understand white supremacy. They don't understand that they're victims of this. Some of them have benefited from it. They might work in industries that have benefited strongly from white-adjacent white supremacy. And don't think that they won't say that about black people. Remember that Ben Carson was called a white supremacist, a white supremacist. He was also called a domestic terrorist and a KKK member, etc. ad nauseum, and he is still to this day, and you can look it up, he's still black, still a surgeon. I don't know that he practices anymore, much more in government now and politics. Now, when you take someone like this and you provide people this platform, this political platform, the Barackopolis, sometimes great things happen for them. Terrible for this nation. A false prophet. I think a false Messiah for a lot of people. I really think people thought he was the second coming. What with his Obama phones, etc., and his ability to heal us. Remember when Michelle said, he's going to stretch us. The thing about Barack is he's going to stretch us. He's going to challenge us. Remake this nation from the ground up. A lot of problems began with him. Sometimes there's these experiments that Democrats pull, and they crash and burn right on the spot. I'm a little bit late getting to this, but I do want to get to this. This is Tim Walz's wife. They decided to put her on stage in Maine. Well, no. Actually, she got yanked from Maine. She spoke at Maine, but then she got yanked from the rest of the campaign. So this is from Maine. Watch her and or listen to her. If you're not watching, listen to her. It's better if you watch because you get a full dose of Tim Walz's wife.
Bye-bye, Donald Trump. We are turning the page. 52 days and we are turning the page. 52 days and it is bye-bye, Donald.
I don't know why God gave me a certain set of abilities. One of them is crazy eye. And maybe this is just because of how I was brought up. Maybe it's just because I had low self-esteem as a young man, as a teen. I did, even though I was, captain of the football team and class speaker, all that stuff. I had low self-esteem, particularly related to girls. So when I was young, I maybe ended up dating some crazy girls, some really nice girls. Growing into lovely women, but some crazy ones. That's crazy eye. Am I wrong? She got pulled from the campaign. So she never got a chance to use her particular brand of magic. Lord, thank you for apparently stripping Barack Hussein Obama of the magic that he used to be able to borrow from, the other side.